Letting go sounds simple. But if it were, your heart wouldn't ache every time you tried. You tell yourself you've moved on, from the person who left, the dream that died, the version of you that used to believe in forever. But deep down, you still feel that quiet pull. That small ache that whispers, what if? We're taught to believe that holding on is strength. That love means persistence. That ambition means endurance. That commitment means never letting go. But the truth is, holding on is sometimes the very thing that keeps us stuck. Because not everything you lose is meant to be found again. Some things are meant to teach you, not stay with you. You don't lose people, moments, or dreams. You release what was never meant to stay. The hardest part of letting go isn't the loss. It's accepting that you can't rewrite what's already lived. And that maybe, that's okay. Because life doesn't ask you to cling. It asks you to trust. We romanticize forever as if it's the only kind of love worth having. We think if something ends, it must have failed. But what if that's not true? What if the purpose of some things isn't to last, but to shape you? Think about it, not every sunrise lasts all day. But every sunrise matters. Not every song plays forever. But every note leaves an echo. You weren't supposed to hold everything. You were supposed to experience it. To let it move through you. To let it change you. To let it end when it needs to. Sometimes people come into your life to show you what love can look like. Not to be the person you love forever. Sometimes dreams fade because they've already done what they were meant to do. They woke something in you. And sometimes, the chapter ends. Not because you did something wrong. But because the story needs space to grow. Letting go isn't failure, it's flow. It's not about erasing what was. But about making room for what's next. You carry pieces of your past everywhere. The laughter of old friends. The memory of what almost was. The faces that still live in your quietest thoughts. You try to let go, but sometimes the past doesn't just vanish. It echoes. A song brings it back. A place. A scent. A dream that feels too real to be random. And in those moments, you think, have I really let go? But maybe letting go isn't about deleting. Maybe it's about integrating. The past isn't gone. It's part of your DNA now. It lives in the lessons, not the longing. It shows up in your wisdom, your patience, your ability to love deeper and softer this time. Because letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means remembering without reliving. It means honoring what was without imprisoning what is. You can love what once was. And still walk forward without it. That's not contradiction. That's maturity. The reason letting go hurts isn't because of loss. It's because of resistance. You resist the silence that follows goodbye. You resist the uncertainty of what comes next. You resist the space that opens up when something ends. You think if you hold on long enough, maybe it will come back. But holding on doesn't preserve, it suffocates. Because when you clutch something too tightly, you stop it from evolving, and you stop yourself, too. Letting go isn't about weakness. It's about strength, the kind that doesn't need to control the outcome to find peace. You see, holding on is fueled by fear. The fear that without this person, this job, this dream, you won't know who you are anymore. But that's exactly why letting go is sacred. Because every time you release what no longer fits, you meet a new version of yourself waiting beneath the fear. That's the paradox of letting go. You don't lose yourself. You find yourself again. There's a strange stillness that follows every ending. The world keeps moving. But you feel paused. Like your soul hasn't caught up with your body yet. It's tempting to fill that silence. To rush into something new. To distract yourself. To pretend you're fine. But silence is where healing begins. Because silence isn't emptiness, it's space. And space is where transformation happens. You can't plant new seeds if your hands are still clinging to what's dead. You can't welcome peace if your heart is still hosting ghosts. So you wait. You breathe. You grieve. You learn that letting go doesn't happen all at once. It happens in layers. Some loud and tearful. Some quiet and invisible. And slowly, the ache softens. The noise fades. You start to feel lighter. Not because the past disappears, but because it no longer defines you. There's a moment, you'll feel it. When you stop checking the door to see if they'll return. When you stop replaying the what ifs. When you stop needing closure from someone who was never meant to give it. That moment is freedom. Not dramatic, not loud, just quiet, grounded freedom. You realize you don't need to rewrite the story. You don't need to win the ending. You just need to accept it. Because letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring about yourself, too. You stop asking, why did it end? And start asking, what did it teach me? You begin to see how every ending was really an evolution. Every goodbye, a redirection. The people who left gave you the chance to meet yourself. The dreams that died made space for new ones. The mistakes you made became mirrors, showing you what mattered most. And now, as your hands open again, you find they're not empty. They're ready. Letting go isn't a single act. It's an art form, a quiet, sacred practice of trust. It's the courage to release what's gone. And the wisdom to hold what remains. You begin to realize that freedom isn't found by reaching. It's found by releasing. That sometimes, moving forward doesn't mean holding tighter. It means loosening your grip. Because life isn't about accumulation. It's about alignment. And the more you unclench, the more your hands are free to hold the present. You look back one last time. Not with bitterness, but with gratitude. You whisper, thank you, for what was, for what ended, and for what's becoming. Then you turn toward the horizon. And this time, you don't need to carry everything with you. You walk lighter. You walk freer. You walk as someone who finally understands. You don't lose when you let go. You evolve.